Defender side is often the side that requires the most coordination to find success. When playing in ranked, one of the most important win conditions a team can have is playing well on defense. But in an uncoordinated environment, trying to stay as one cohesive unit while defending a bomb site can be quite a challenging task. That's why in today's video, we'll be giving you some tips on how to make that job a little bit easier. What is going on, ProGuides family? It's your host, Sergeant Frost, and today we're talking about 5 ways to lock down a bomb site. Let's not waste any more time and hop right into it. Our first tip for locking down a bomb site is learning how to abuse crossfires and contact setups with your team. Let's start this off with the obvious. One of the best ways to hold a bomb site is by setting up a crossfire with another player. Creating a crossfire in the front half of a bomb site will give you and your teammates the best chance of securing multiple kills and holding off a push until reinforcements arrive. When holding a site, it's great to play for your life and wait for the enemies to make a move. But as you climb the ladder and rank up into higher elos, attacking teams will get more coordinated and destroy you if you give them too much free space on an execute. So, as a player, you can't be afraid of being a little bit aggressive by either contesting a choke point with a teammate or finding a position to crossfire. Playing a crossfire angle with another player can make the job of standing your ground and holding the bomb site entrance much easier, especially if the enemies aren't expecting it. For a quick reference, let's talk about the map Ascent really quickly. A great crossfire angle would be one player plays in logs or in mid-market, and one player plays in boathouse or at the very end of lane. This way, both of you are watching the same angle, and the enemies can only look at one direction while they get shot from the other. If done well, you could easily net 3 or 4 kills if you get the first kill. Now, let's quickly turn this conversation to contact setups. A contact and support setup is designed to allow 2 players to play off of each other when holding a bomb site. This can mean one player posts up with a rifle on an angle looking to peek for a kill, and one player makes sure that he doesn't get pushed after he retreats off of his aggressive angle. Let's say for instance you have a Jet with an AWP and a Killjoy with all of her abilities on B site. Jet can watch into B main with her AWP to get info on where the enemies are in B main, and Killjoy can wait for contact to activate her nanoswarms at the entrance of B main as soon as Jet takes a shot. This way, Killjoy can potentially stall a rush by activating her mollies in the doorway, and this gives Jet ample time to flee. This is a variant of a contact setup that you can pull off with another teammate. Learning how to play a contact setup could take some getting used to, as timing is important, and many teams in ranked play aren't that coordinated. If you want to learn more on how you can set yourself up for success while playing on defense, then come check out our Radiant and Immortal level coaches on ProGuides.com. Our coaches can tailor a coaching session to your individual needs, whether it's to help you iron out your mistakes on certain maps, help you learn certain agents, or even your attacking and defending strategies in solo queue. If you're interested in improving fast and climbing up the ladder, then definitely come check us out. The next tip we will be talking about is how you can split up a site take by strategically contesting one entrance. Splitting a bomb site is a common tactic pros will use to hold down a bomb site that has multiple entrances. So, what does splitting a bomb site actually look like? Well, a great visual example for this concept is A site on split. The A site on split has 2 major parts that need to be controlled: the lower part of the bomb site where you can plant the spike, and Heaven area which overlooks the bomb site. In order for the attacking team to gain complete control of the bomb site, they need to take control of half of the map to make sure that rotating defenders have no viable way in to retake. So for an attacking team on split, that means that they need to gain control of deep site where you can plant, and they also really want to control Heaven as well. This way, they can prevent the defenders from a comfortable retake where they collapse on the site from multiple areas. So now that we know how an attacking team can control a site, how do you split up their site take to deny them map control? One method that people are starting to use is to lock down Heaven area and allow enemies to take a site for a retake. After you kill any attackers that try to contest your Heaven, you wait patiently for your retake players to arrive, and you slowly collapse on the attackers in post plant because you have all their exits sealed. This way, the attackers are at a disadvantage because they are too deep into a site without taking good map control. What we are trying to convey here is that in its simplest form, splitting a site take is pushing or taking control of one area of a bomb site from attackers to prevent them from getting total map control of the area. Another example would be A site on Haven. If you are being rushed from long and you don't have a good way to deal with both short and long entrances, contesting short exclusively could be a great option to split up a site take. If you can focus your utility on taking out the short side attackers, you can push through and potentially maintain control of a crucial post plant position, effectively securing your teammates another entrance into site for a retake. Even if you're at a disadvantage when going for the play, the upsides are massive, and it definitely beats trying to hold a site from under Heaven or back site, especially if they're throwing a lot of utility at you. In these situations, contesting one side of a site take can be a great tool to change things up, and also has great potential upsides if done successfully as well. And this leads us right into our question of the day. Today's question is, which bomb site do you feel the most comfortable on in Valorant? Personally, I have a good old time playing on B site Ascent. This is mainly because I find myself using Sentinels a lot or AWPing, so this site is definitely my bread and butter when it comes to locking down and execute. In fact, most of my own stream clips that I've collected over the past few months is me getting 4Ks and aces holding B site by myself. Let us know what your most comfortable bomb site is to hold in the comment section down below. Now, let's jump right back into the video. The next section we will be talking about is something that a lot of players do in-game, but rarely with intentions other than getting a kill. and that is aggressive control. Defending through aggressive control sounds a lot like playing for kills and W-keying into enemies, but it's a lot more than just that. Defending through aggressive control can actually mean many things, from coordinated aggression to target a certain player, or to secure deep map control. In pro play, for example, many big plays are made on defense because the defenders took initiative and brought the fight to the enemy. Aggressive control means involving your teammates in taking initiative around the map to push back against the attackers or to gain information on their plans. Now, I know many solo queue players might be opposed to going for aggressive control because they think it gives permission for their teammates to go for stupid plays around the map in the name of taking the initiative. We are not trying to condone unintelligent play or players throwing rounds for the sole sake of being needlessly aggressive. A lot of players get mad at their teammates for being unnecessarily aggressive on defense, but when executed properly and when playing with patience, it is one of the easiest ways to rack up defender side wins in solo queue. Aggressive control in its essence is the defenders being active on the map and pushing into certain key areas of the map to gain information. Aggressive control doesn't have to be strictly hunting for kills either. You can try to just gain info through aggressive controlling, and you can still be safe while doing it. In Valorant, info can win you games, and on defense, it can be hard to gather info if you just sit in the back of sight the entire round and wait for the enemies to walk into your crosshair. Taking initiative and actively trying to find key information for your team is a skill that many high-level players have developed over time, and it is a key reason for why they can consistently win so many defensive rounds in their games. When talking about the best ways to lock down bomb sites, you know we can't neglect how utility can help you turn your bomb site into a fortress. For this topic, we are going to be talking about different utilities in sections. We will talk about damage utility and crowd control or CC. First off, damage utility is the best form of utility to stop a rush from defenders. Currently in Valorant, mollies and grenades are some of the best tools you can use to stop a push in its tracks. If you are playing an agent with mollies or damage utility like Rays, be conservative with your utility and use it on choke points once your position is threatened. Simply put, agents with grenades and mollies can halt a push in their tracks, and it can be a great tool to stall site takes or punish hasty attackers trying to flood into a bomb site. This also plays around the idea that with good utility, you can split a site execute by cutting off one side with utility while contesting the other or holding the other side. Next up, crowd control is the second best form of utility behind damage utility for stopping pushes. Agents like Breach, Astra, KO, and Sage have great hard CC that allows them to cut off attackers or trap them if they get too aggressive trying to get into a site. Hard CC takes away a player's movement or drastically hinders it, and this is one of the best ways for keeping attackers out of a site physically. One pro tip is that players fighting through a Sage slow actually are at a great disadvantage despite seemingly having no effect on their aim. The reason this is the case is because movement is a big factor in a person's aim, and by screwing with their movement, their crosshair placement gets messed with in the process. So if you slow enemies, it's actually not a bad idea to take a fight against them. Other CCs like soft crowd control can be flashes, smokes, and walls. They are utility that doesn't damage a player or hinder their movement, but it does block vision and gives you a noticeable advantage when holding a smoke or fighting a flashed opponent. Let's end this video off with one of the most important setups you can have in solo queue, which is playing a retake setup. Very rarely do you have defenders who can just lock down a bomb site against 5 players, so a site is bound to be lost when attackers engage. Similarly, some maps are well suited for attackers, such as Icebox and Breeze. These maps have bomb sites that are quite large and very wide open, which allows attackers to take space for free without having to worry about as many corners or sneaky angles, which in turn allows defenses to get overrun because they will struggle to ward off 5 players rushing at them with little cover separating both parties. So to adapt to this, a setup was created where a team will solely play for the retake. Playing a passive retake setup is essentially being willing to give the enemies control of the bomb site if they execute, with the plans of retaking it afterwards. This might seem bad since you're giving up a site for free, but actually has some unspoken benefits as well. First of all, this means that your defense can be stacked towards another bomb site for a stronger defensive hold on that side. Secondly, the attackers have no way of knowing that you're playing a passive retake setup unless they either read you or execute into a site. If they execute into the site, you will likely have a utility advantage over them, which means the retake will be easier to pull off. Additionally, you can play passive off angles to look for a pick, and then play the man advantages without having to put too much skin in the game. Retake setups are great for when a site is proving to be hard to hold, or if a team wants to make an aggressive play elsewhere. If you can plan out a site retake beforehand, then you'll be happy to see how surprised the enemy team will be when you do your own site execute on the bomb site to retake it. Anyways, this pretty much rounds out our video for 5 ways to lock down a bomb site. Let us know if this helps you in the comment section down below. We love hearing your feedback. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to drop a like and subscribe to keep up to date with the latest Valorant news, updates, and guides. Also, make sure to check out our website for truly amazing on-demand coaching. This has been your host, Sergeant Frost, and I will see you all in the next one.